But here we are on Dusk Towers in the top right-hand corner. From Team Acer, it is the Red Zerg, Lie.
And spawning in that bottom left position, it is our blue Terran from Root Gaming. It is Kelazhur. I don't know why I'm putting a T in that name, but
Yeah, well, you got
it's
I guess
the
you
World
have
of
WoW.
Warcraft character,
Kel'Thuzor.
Kelazhur.
Yeah.
That's why it's bothering me. I played WoW for like freaking 6 years. I mean, I don't know.
I think what I do is, since you're using default, I just have Control N always up. I have the names at the top, so I never lose the names because the names are at the top of my screen. So that's how I always remember. But
Hey, so as we saw before, this is one of the interesting parts about this map. We do see Bly going with that quick hatchery, and he's doing it in that north position. So if you could secure this ramp with 2 bases, you could actually get your third base very easily. Now, sometimes if you take your natural in this back spawn position, it's really hard to fight down that ramp. So I mean, it's risky, but it's worth it in the end if Bly could get his bases up and running.
the biggest worry for Bly in this situation, I think, is a Hellion run by. Since the third base is very open, the ramp is quite large, so easily they can get in incinerate stuff. But on this map and on Orbital Shipyard, and even on like Ruins of Ceres, it's pretty common to take the third as your natural, and it just secures your third base in your natural, the exact opposite of your third as your natural base, a little bit easier. While we have Kelazhur on the other side of the map, opening up with the Reaper Fast Expand, not doing the Widowmine drop like he likes to do versus Toss. And we'll see where he moves on in from here. This Reaper will have a little bit easier time doing damage, lots more area to maneuver in the third base, but shouldn't be able to get too much down. And Bly is feeling confident, getting a total of 6 lings. Actually, I guess that means he's not feeling confident, making sure he's got every last ling to defend the Reaper instead of the normal 4.
Yeah, so with the Reaper gonna come in, gonna try to do some damage, but a Queen's gonna pop. But he's got 2 Queens coming up. I don't know if they're gonna get there in time. The Reaper is gonna jump up and down these cliffs, and let's see what he's gonna be able to do right here. These Lings are gonna get around him. It gets the surround, almost gets the surround, drops their grenade, and it's just being super annoying. These Lings are just keeping that Reaper from doing any kind of real damage. Reaper's gonna get up in the field, but that Queen's gonna pop right now.
Oh,
and
nice.
Drone goes flying.
The beauty about this and taking the third for the Reaper is that the Reaper can jump up and down and then KD8 charge the ramp, so there's lots of opportunities to do damage. Now, of course, there will be creep at this third base, so the Lings have a little bit easier time to engage, but it's still roughly 30 to 40 seconds off until Metabolic Boost is done. It generally finishes around 320-ish, and these Lings do have to fall back, but the Queen eventually pushes them back, and overall, does get one worker kill, but it's the majority of just kind of messing with your opponent, getting in their head, getting that scouting done too. Kelazhur knows, okay, what are you doing with it? And Bly hasn't really shown his hand yet. White.
All right, so we just see another Queen coming out for Bly. He's going to be pushing that creep spread, and there's just that Reaper and those grenade charges are just super annoying. This is kind of why, when I play against Terran, I just have the hardest time dealing with these Lings. But the speed is finished for these Zerglings, and they're going to try to get their surround on that Reaper. And they get pushed back. A lot of Hellions and a few Marines left there just to defend. And here comes the Hellion push. But he's not going to get far. He got a couple Queens. Got 3 Queens
nice.
for defense. Got 4
Nice.
Queens. So I don't see him being able to do much with this.
Bly spots this coming over, but right now this is just a little bit of a shroud for a quick third CC that Kelazhur is acquiring back at home, and this is almost for suredly because he spotted that early third hatch of Bly, or at least that third base in the natural. Notice he still hasn't taken his third in the seas. There's a big open opportunity for me to push. Generally, the ramp up into the main is too small for the Hellions to actually do damage. So right now, great decision by Kelazhur. At least he's going to be able to stunt the growth and keep back the majority of the Lings, force Bly to be not aggressive, but get units out. Yet Bly, this is the biggest thing, that Kelazhur has not been able to get up into that natural and scout it at all. And for now, it looks like Bly's going right as the pause happens too. Bly throws down the Spire. He's doing 2-base Spire play, and Kelazhur will have a nice macro economy to do some damage with this. And I love that it's green, blue, and then red. That's just beautiful looking. Why is it green then blue though? That's weird. I don't know if that's my settings for color.
It might be your settings for color because I have no idea what you're looking at.
Sorry. The text. The each Kelazhur's text changed from green to blue. I don't know with the way he
Oh,
wrote
okay,
that.
yeah.
For now, the Hellions are kiting, and with the creep, the Lings are able to get straight up on top of them. But a beautiful position with his medevac. Medevac pulls back, and Kelazhur's got to know something's up because you can't have a third base functioning quite normally, or at least earlier, and have these queens and have these Lings. So he's going to be noticing a little bit something fishy. But again, as I was mentioning, with this. Kelazhur's playing in the dark while Bly's executing a two-base Spire play. Third hatch is on the way, but finally the mutas in the main, or at least the Marines in the main, may be able to spot that.
Yeah, and so far it's like you said, he does have that Spire, but it's not spotted yet. Here comes the medevac. Now he finally sees it. He sees the Spore colony, but he actually does. It's a Spore crawler, but he doesn't see the Spire. So these Lings are going to get the surround on these Marines, but that Spire is actually kind of staying hidden still. Here comes the rest of it, and a couple of Liberators. The Freedom starters. Queens are going to there, and the Spire barely gets spotted. I don't know if he was able to click on it to see if that was the Spire or not, but I think it's hidden so far.
Oh, it actually was barely shown up, but either way, Kelazhur can identify you have 4 gas, you're on layer in your main base. This is a pretty darn quick layer for, well, realistically, he moved in 5 minutes 30-ish and saw that also. He knows, okay, you're most likely going Muta. We have Marines on the way, and it looks like the third base will be denied. Lings, ooh, barely not getting into that main, but 7 Mutas are on the way, and still the majority of the army is literally just this Liberator in the top left-hand corner. Desperately, Kelazhur's throwing up missile turrets, but I'm actually a little bit afraid it's not going to be quick enough. He's not quite going to be prepared enough to defend versus this Muta push that's coming in full force. You got to remember, there was no Roach safety Roach warn. The gas is 150% into these Mutas.
Yeah, and so like you said with the Mutas, they are going to come right in, but the turrets are going to be there, but they are finishing up. There's a couple good ones in the Mariner line and in the surrounding bases, but I think these Mutas are going to stop that base from finishing all the way. The Mutas is going to come right in, and I think they're going to just focus down SUVs as they run away. Yep, gets a couple SUVs, tries to stop the turret, focus down the Liberator. They almost get a couple more hits on the Liberator, but Marines were able to push this back, and Kelazhur gets his third base up and running.
Liberator is just enough to push Bly back. However, Bly did not lose any Mutas in that. They're still at almost full health. They're going to go in again looking for an opportunity to attack that Liberator. Looks like they'll find that opportunity. They want to be very careful. There's the snipe, but again, he hasn't lost anything. And Mutas heal very quickly. There's missile turrets in the main, but these Mutas are going to start to go uncontested. And even though Kelazhur is a slightly stronger economy than Bly's the map control. He's got the creep. He's got a Baneling nest on the way. He's got all his tools, and there's now going to be a small window of opportunity for Kelazhur to be able to do damage. And it's going to be important for Bly of how he defends, but really this is it for Kelazhur. He's got a very small window to do damage, and if he makes one small misstep, look at all that creep. He's going to fall onto his sword.
Yeah, and so we do have the tank that's in the air, which I always laugh at seeing because it still looks funny as hell. Almost as funny as Thor is being picked up by medevac. So the Muta's going to come
Thor's,
in.
Yeah.
They're going to try to. He's going to try to snipe it.
Oh, don't fight those bio!
Medevac, but
So
it picks it
bio.
up. Such good control on both players. That tank's here in the back, and he's going to try to stop this bio army. Muta's focused down the tank. Tank kind of gets left behind, and here comes the Lings on top of this, and the Muta's going to come in, going to focus down the medevac. One medevac drops, and the rest of the bio gets cleaned up here in a second, and the Mutas push away, but here comes Marauders and Lings. They stem forward, takes out the last little bit of these Mutas, and the only thing left are these Lings.
The defender's advantage, though, is just barely helping out Bly. He's able to defend, but like I was saying, really, Kelazhur wants to get damage done. Back at home, he does have a third CC, Morax being added on, so it's not going too badly his direction. He was able to get exactly what he needed to do, which was stunting the Muta growth, killing the Mutas off earlier on, but finally for Bly, there are Banelings, and for Kelazhur, that was why he had the window of opportunity. Okay, cool, the Mutas are on the map, you don't have Banelings, but Banelings are on the way. There is no Baneling speed, but there's also an Ultralisk Cavern at, what, the 9-minute mark? It's pretty darn early, but seeing now Kelazhur trying to fight, but the splits look like good preemptive splits, but not that much medevac for healing, and these Banelings do force the majority of the bio to fall back, and looks like a fungal growth is not going to happen, but bio falls back, it's split up, allowing the Lings to get in and amongst them and doing damage, but this is scrappy. Both sides are barely clawing back on. 32 more Lings are on the way, but Kelazhur has now found a moment of opportunity to do damage and be right in the base, and where does he go?
Yeah, so he's standing this bio armor just to start focusing down those drones, and like you said before, there's really not much left. Got a lot of Lings finally getting pushed out. There's a tank right here. He's not sieged up. This tank needs to get in siege mode, start doing some damage, but here comes the Lings coming across, cleans up a little bit of the bio on the third base. The tank almost gets about to get dropped. There goes the tank. The rest of the Bio Army gets cleaned up here eventually. And we do see that Bly does have a 4th base. But it's not mined out, and his 3rd base is not even mined out at all either.
Right now, Kelazhur is looking really darn good. He got a lot of damage done. 21 workers killed, as I said. Killed all the mutas, and that was the majority of the gas that we saw Bly banking up. Now Bly has an Ultralisk on the way. Chitinous plating 1-1, but that's not going to be enough, and Bly is forced to go for a counterattack. He knows that's where he is. He's counterattacking across the map, but there's just so many Marines scattered around. No, they won't be able to stop this, but ooh, 2 Ultras, got to be careful. 3 Ultras in total will be out, but they're not at the point at upgrades where the Bio is unable to fight them. This Bio can easily fight 1-for-1. There's the snipe of the base in the top right. It is gone. The Ultras are going to go down. There is 1 Infester. Morlings are coming out, but inch by inch, Kelazhur was able to take this, and I think Bly was just maybe not slightly too greedy, but his Baneling Nest was just a little bit late overall in that first engagement. Didn't have any Banelings, wasn't able to produce them, made just a little bit too many mutas, and now, after all of that, Kelazhur is able to take this phenomenal game, and even though he's losing right there, the Lings on the other side of the map are going to get cleaned up. There's only 4 of them, and Kelazhur's looking good.
Yeah, Kelazhur just pushed in with that Bio. It has just really good pressure on top of it. Like you said, the Bange wasn't able to get good hits. Ultralisk got kind of more evaporated just because there's so much Bio involved in this. And unfortunately for Bly, he's only on 2 bases mining. Technically it's 1 because he had to clear out that base. And I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this any longer. This Lings got
all the
up.
tech going down.
Yeah, everything's down. He's going to have to pretty much start from scratch, and having that Bio Army in your base is just unfortunately it's not looking good.
I love that, dropping 1 Marine, like, yeah, you're gonna sacrifice yourself. It's cool, bro. You have to. It's like the guy behind him in the medevac kicks him out of the plane right as he's about to jump. And like, yeah, good luck, bro. Finally, though, they find the opportunity, and these Ultras do have 1-5 now. Kindness plating kicking in makes them so strong. But still, Bio's going to hit left and right. Bly, again and again, knows he has to do counterattack damage. He has to do this remarkable amounts of counterattack damage. But purely, this all started because in the very beginning, his Baneling Nest was delayed, and now that his Baneling Nest has been sniped, or pardon me, now that he has the Baneling Nest but not enough Banelings, he's unable to deal with his Bio effectively, other than the 2 Ultras in the main, and it's starting to become scrappy, but Kelazhur's got a strong foothold, and there it is, GG. Kelazhur takes game 1 of this best of 3.
Yeah, he was behind in upgrades. You know, the Lings 1 of 1 to Zerg versus 2 of 2 Bio. Like, you're not going to fight that. I mean, the Ultralisk was able to do a little bit, but without having that much fungal growth or good Bane hits, unfortunately, the Ultralisk was not wasn't able to do much in that regard. So game 1 does go to Kelazhur, and we will be jumping into game number 2 here shortly in the Filthy Weekly Global Finals. Is it Global Finals or just Week 4 Global?
It is the week. It is whatever you want to call it. We have the global version of the Filthy Weekly, which means anyone can join. That's why you're saying Bly, you got Tefeld, you got Demaga, phenomenal players all coming in. But just like to say, I'm pretty sure, I believe Bly was just trying to rush to Ultras, and he was using the Spire, and he was going to use the Mutas to delay until he had the rest of the income, because he got an early Infestation Pit, got an early Ultralisk Cavern, but he was just slightly too-ish greedy overall. But, you know, we'll see. Bly giving me the invite. Looks like game 2 will be on Arena, which I doubt we're going to see any of the rushes, but Mutas can be potentially disastrous. And at the same time, this is the map that Kelazhur has been able to execute phenomenal drops on Draven. It's much smaller, and he's got a lot of potential. Fantastic. Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, awesome. So to say, no one could hear what Damon just said to us, but Jon Snow went 2-1 versus, or pardon me, Violet went 2-1 versus Jon Snow, so Violet will be in the other semifinal. We have Kelazhur Bly facing each other right now, and the other semifinal is Violet versus either Demaga or EJK, most likely. We also have a couple other players. There's Pillow SC, but Kelazhur versus Bly. Kelazhur currently up 1-0. Whoever wins this moves on to the finals, and then Violet is on the other side. They'll most likely play him, but, you know, we'll see. Already, game 2, man. Bly is great on this map. Loves roaches. He was the one that started pioneering that early roach 2-base build, and I think he's going to have a decent chance of winning this. This is definitely his map.
Yeah, like I said before, I'm interested to see what Zerg does on this map. Like I said before, I'm not the greatest on this map, but either way, so spawning in our bottom left position, it is our red Zerg player playing for Acer. It is Bly.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, representing Root Gaming, the Blue Terran, Kelazhur, up 1-0. Both these players are incredibly aggressive, so it will help them out, but they may just nullify each other with that. It may just kind of be, okay, evened out because of their aggressiveness.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Bly is able to going to be able to do on this map. We do see that early pull before hatchery. We'll see if he tries to do any kind of early Ling play with Banelings possibly, or maybe just doing it to stop Reapers from getting into his base. Either way, I'm excited to see what he does with this.
Well, Bly with this opening, in the very first game today, I believe was on Arena, it was a ZVP where our Zerg opened up the same way. And I think I even remember saying that, you know what, I like this, but it works best versus Terran because with those early 6 slings, you can kill the SCV that's working on the natural CC and really just shut down a Reaper Fast Expand Terran, unless they're going one base, which Kelazhur in TVP has shown he's done many one bases, but you see this first Overlord of Bly moving into the main base of Kelazhur is going to identify, do you have that natural or not? So am I going to send those lings? Looks like there's going to be a gas for Bly. He's thinking, okay, I'm not going to quite be as aggressive, just playing it safe. But with that, if he does see the natural, if he does think there's a natural, which we'll see if he does, he may be able to get lings in there. But no, Bly is opting for the quick Roach Warren instead of the early ling play.
Yeah, and on this map, like you said, if you get roaches across the map way in time, Roach's push is really good and really strong. And we do see a Reaper coming out. But unfortunately, there's only one queen, so we'll see what this queen's going to be able to do in the way of defense against this Reaper. But I'm excited to see. He's going to probably get the scout off on the roaches as well. So here comes the Reaper to see what kind of damage he's going to be able to do.
Reaper moves in right as the Roach Warren finishes, but as usual, the Roach Warren's position that Bly has put it in is fantastic. Reaper doesn't have any inclination about it. However, it doesn't see 6 slings. Now, generally, Arena is much smaller. It is a much smaller period, so the Reaper could get there even before lings, but it's going to completely fall back. I think it realizes, okay, maybe there's lings out of the map. What's going on? Well, this is going to buy ample opportunities of time for Bly to push out what he's got through. Roaches on the way, and Kelazhur, he's got a factory, and he's putting on a 3rd CC. There's going to be nothing here to defend, even for Roaches.
Yeah, so the 3rd CC is just super greedy. He's up the game, so he has to just I don't want to say think outside the box, but he has to keep the advantage up. We do see roaches coming across, and this Reaper going to be able to kite it a little bit with the grenades, but 3 roaches is not going to be enough. I mean, we do see another 4th roach, but I think this Marines are going to be able to defend no problem. The Marines, especially with that bunker being finished, grenades are going to get in, push the roaches back.
Yeah. They will be able to defend the main, but I'm more worried about that natural base. Nice micro by Bly overall. Another Roach is going to reinforce a full health Roach, which I think will mean barely these Roaches will push it back. But now the natural base, it's not going to be able to mine for a little while. Bly is doing a little bit of damage here and there, but this is all an elaborate shroud for Bly to get up a very quick layer. And it looks like he's barely going to win this fight right here, but at least he can deny the natural base, deny mining. And overall, I think, is Bly going for another 2-base Spire play?
He's just jumping up on the gas. He's getting 2 more gas, but more roaches are coming out. We don't see any, or we do see the layer tech just about to finish. We'll see what he builds from this. If he jumps into Spire or if speed roaches, and see if he sticks with that roach.
No! Oh, phew! Survived.
The VIP roach. We got more roaches coming. I mean, this is like, I don't know what Kelazhur is going to do to defend against this. I mean, he's just going to keep him on one base. He's going to try to run up the ramp, but it gets, closed up. That bunker is slowly hitting the roaches, but he's focusing down this reactor. And if he could snipe this reactor and no SUVs are here to repair it, he snipes the reactor. Now there's a hole. He's going to snipe workers now. He's going to pick these workers back and forth.
Bly being a little bit unsure, do I want to move up into the main? But with that, there was only 2 Marines. They cannot fight by themselves. They need SCVs to accompany them, and this scrappy play from Bly is working out so well. Aspire is being made off the back of this. He's only on 3 gas because he needs some more mineral income, with the early roaches. It's his economy a little bit, but overall, Kelazhur's on 1 base. He's got 3 SCV income, but it's not as if he's going to have lots of Marines or missile turrets to defend. He's going to have a siege tank, and he's going to feel great about that. Maybe he can push out and be aggressive, but Bly gets straight up in the face of that siege tank. Beautiful. And I guess right now for Kelazhur, he can walk over to the other side of the map and do damage, but Bly is just taking such a dominant even though it's not doing the most damage, just kind of such a dominant posture in this game.
Yeah,
On
so right
Orena.
now we do see a lot of resources killed from, or excuse me, Bly kills off a lot of resources from Kelazhur. So we'll see what he does with this tank. I mean, this tank's gonna be super freaking annoying, coming across the map right now. We do see the Queen does spot a little bit of it, and just this corrosive bile, just Ravager, just trying to stay on top of it. But damn, dude, this is gonna be super annoying.
It will be very annoying. And there's the mutas finally coming out. They should pretty easily be able to clean up that siege tank and the medevac, but for now that third CC will be shelled for a little while. Just a note, in that attack, Bly was able to get 11 worker kills, but more so he stunted the overall tech and mind growth, the cultural growth of the Terran player, Kelazhur right there. Siege tank is going to fall back, and now we have the mutas finally popping, and man, they might as well just mosey on over and head towards the main base of Kelazhur. The engineering bay isn't even done yet.
Yeah, I mean, if these mutas can get into the middle line without flying exactly where they're flying, and just get into the middle line of the natural, I mean, they're going to do so much damage because they're unscouted right now. But now it's scouted, and there you go. The mutas is going to start just going to town on the SUVs, killing off the Marines. The turrets are finished, as we see, or at least about to be finished. But Bly needs to get into the middle line. Doesn't need to be focusing down this. He might get that reactor with the stem. Picking that off is going to put him behind just a little bit more. But now the turret's done. Got a lot more mutas. Going to pick off the last, pick off a medevac. Almost gets the medevac, and now he's just killing off the supply line. He's just focused on more Marines, and these mutas are just going to be super annoying.
Not quite enough mutas.
It's more being an annoying, stopping that production. I mean, at this point, Kelazhur can't make production. He can't make units. He's just going to get picked. The muta's just going to pick it off every single time. He's going to take off that tech, so there goes no more tanks, another reactor, so no more double Marines. And man, this got to be super annoying. He's going to focus down these barracks. No more barracks. Oh my gosh, he's just destroying the supply line. I mean,
no production for Kelazhur right now. He's not going to be able to defend his natural. There is one siege tank at the natural to hold out versus a variety of units. You got some Ravagers, you got some Roaches, you got Lings, and now the mutas almost can go uncontested into these missile turrets. Only 11 right now. There needs to be a little bit more than that, but finally Bly is saying this is the time. Let's head on into this, and double Liberator, but the siege tank's out of position. Looks like the siege tank's hopping at the third base of Bly to do some damage, but it needs to be back home to defend. The mutas right on top of the Liberator. Get straight there. Roaches taking down supply depots. The SCVs are pulled to defend. However, that will mean 35 SCVs have gone down in total. And GG, Bly evens it up 1-1.
Wow, what a crazy aggressive. This mutas became so unpredictable that unfortunately Kelazhur wasn't able to defend against it and stopped the supplies from being stopped them from being reinforced. And the tank, like you said, was harassing the third base. But I mean, when you have Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings, and mutas at your base, I mean, that tank's not going to do much. So what an amazing game. GG gets called, and so Bly takes it now 1-1 in this best of 3. Damn, these games are just so good.
Yeah. And really for Bly, that map right there, Orena, was the ace in the hole. That was a little thing in the back pocket to say, you know what, maybe you beat me in game 1, but game 2, I have that Roach play, and even though it's kind of scrappy, as I said, you push down the tech, the Terran is not able to grow technologically and advance into the space age for themselves, and eventually, just simply, Zerg is able to overwhelm with a strong economy. But that was game 2. Game 1, Kelazhur was able to take it. Game 2 was Bly. It's 1-1 a best of 3. The winner of this next game will move on to the finals and have a chance of winning $150. This is a $200 Filthy Weekly. That means double, but not only is it double money, it's double OSC points, which means the winner will get 240 OSC points. That is a lot, and easily the winners of the NA or the Filthy NA Cup weeklies can get nice, strong footholds into the OSC. But guys, while you're sitting here, you know what? Please follow below. Check Damon Knight out. It's at Damon Knight. He is our observer. He is our production. He's our everything. He does everything for this, and I can't do a heart. I've learned that over my long years of life. I am unable to do a heart with my hands. However, Draven can. Yeah, right there. Draven can. And also, check him out.
Heart goes to Damon.
Yeah.
and for putting this on. And again, thank everyone that is in chat. Thanks to everyone that keeps following. Make sure you tell your friends about this. It is a weekly event. It is open to anyone that wants to participate. Please, to support the channel as much as possible. I was half joking about the people in chat when they said for me to eat the hot pepper. I would totally do it for a donation to the channel. Anything for the donation to the channel is hot peppers, sure. But so thanks to everyone that's been supporting us so far. Keep following us, keep retweeting, keep hosting, keep talking in chat, and we'll get some more games for you. I think we're ready for game number 3 as well.
Move it, yeah. Game number 3 will be on Central Protocol, and of course it's had some recent changes. No vertical spawn positions and none of those back rocks. But that doesn't stunt 3-Rex Reaper. It doesn't make 3-Rex Reaper any worse. It actually makes it a little bit better since there's more surface area to jump on into in the main, and I would not be surprised at all if we saw Kelazhur take that route. And even though everyone says, 3-Rex Reaper, it sucks, I've seen people defend it, but where I'm going with that is it's actually forced out because the Terrans have such a hard time taking a third base. They say, we're not even going to allow ourselves to get to a natural base. We're just going to do a one-base play.
Yeah, this map is a very interesting map. It's one of my vetoed map because you know how much I love maps. And so we'll see what kind of play that Bly does from this. I mean, I personally am not favored map on this from being a Zerg player, but we'll see what these pros do because these guys are pros. These guys have great map awareness. They know exactly what they're doing. So without further ado, jumping into game number 3. This is the best of 3. This is our red Zerg player playing for Acer. It is Bly.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Terran, it is Root Gaming's Kelazhur. In these spawn positions, of course, Reapers will also be very strong. I'm not surprised if he doesn't do that, but at the same time, I'm not surprised at all if he chooses that. And really, Orena, that was Bly's map. Central Protocol, this is Kelazhur's map.
Yeah, I believe it's a super heavy on Terran favorite map, so I'm interested to see how Bly is going to be able to fight against this and see what he's able to do in the way of defending it. It's just an interesting map. I don't know. I wonder if Bly is just going to have some sneaky, cheeky build on top of this.
Yeah, then he could have a really cool build. He definitely is the player that innovates a lot, and I'd love to see if he did, but he's got to be careful about it because Kelazhur is going 3-Rex Reaper, and he doesn't have the option to do something cheeky. Bly is scouting into the main base of Kelazhur, but notice he's not seeing any production. He's going to see that CC, but it's going to be very, very late, and finally he spots it. He's going to have a decent idea what's going on with the timing of that refinery for Kelazhur with that gas, but still, it took a little longer to scout it. He knows what's happening, but can he defend is the question. I've seen players defend it, but I've also seen it go downhill quite quickly.
So he does see, he goes, okay, there's a barracks. Okay, 2 barracks. Oh, you're building 3 barracks. Holy crap. Something's coming. He sees 2 gases. He's going to be a mass Reaper, annoying as everything known to man. And we'll see how Bly is going to be able to defend it because he sees it coming, though. That is the main, that's half the battle, knowing it's coming. The other half is stopping it.
After Bly scouts it, he instantly puts down a Roach War, not even making a few lings, and he's going to be able to defend a little while on this Queen. It's going to be hard, but since he instantly put it down, we're going to see a surplus of Roaches. 3 Roaches are on the way, and Bly should be able to easily just shut down, reset that Reaper count before they can get damage done and into the main. And this is something that a lot of players struggle with because generally they go a couple lings, they're like, ooh, well, I generally get some lings to defend, but no, you have to have, really, you have to pump. Oh, nice little ling attack right there. We'll be able to pick up something. But with that, generally, players first say, okay, I'm going to pump out some lings, and then I'll hold on a little while and get my Roach Horn to defend. But Bly, right off the bat, does that, and I think he's going to be fine because of that.
Yeah, so it's just, the Reapers, with the Roaches, thankfully the Roaches are here on the map. I mean, doesn't look like he's upgrading to Lair just yet. He's not going to have that speed, but if he stays on the creep, he'll be able to, cut around these Reapers no problem.
Queen and 2 Roaches will be adequate to push back these Reapers. Now, of course, KD8 charges will get slightly formidable, but as I said, really, almost the important part is no matter what the composition you are as Zerg defending this in versus Terran, you have to make sure you reset that Reaper count early in. Doesn't look that good right now. The Reapers have found an angle in, and they're not going to pursue on a creep. They know that's very dangerous, but they will just poke here and there at the Reapers, almost doing a little bit of damage. And at the same time, it's so scary that Bly can't even pull the Queen or Roaches from the natural base. He's got to keep them there, but finally he's pulling them over, and maybe this is opportunity to start resetting that count. Looks like he's going to be able to pick up 1, maybe 2 kills on the Reapers.
Yep, so there's so many Reapers here, there's going to be another one coming across the map. We got 2 more coming across the map, but these nades are just doing so much damage against us. So it's 2 Queens and Roaches. I'll push it back a little bit more, but he needs more Roaches. He needs a lot more Roaches on the map to defend against us. We do see the Reapers going to cross and they're going to snipe this Queen, not a problem. It's going to be super easy for them to snipe that one. He focuses down 1 Reaper, almost gets a second Reaper, more Roaches get pushed out as well. And the Reapers just stopped again, so Bly's doing such a good job defending this, but just with how many cliffs are on this map, these Reapers are just going to get in all these little nooks and crannies and just really do a lot of damage.
This is at some points where I do think you should mix in Lings purely to be able to shut down and disallow Kelazhur from getting optimal movement around the map with these Reapers, shutting them down, not allowing them to move. But I think the biggest pitfall for a lot of players is not transitioning quick enough, but both players are perfectly. Kelazhur adding on 2 more racks, adding on a natural CC and gas, and Bly perfectly in the very early stages of the game. When he makes those 3 Roaches, he was still droning. He knew exactly how many Roaches he needed, and he knew exactly what time to transition. Oh, wants to be very careful not to lose these Queens, but I think both players, even though it's annoying, even though it's a lot of macro, they have the multitasking capability to defend this, and they're going to be okay, and they're going to start to transition out, and this is the one situation where it gets a little bit dicey for Terran if they can't really, not necessarily do damage, but if they can't keep the Roaches on the Roaches side of the map.
Yeah, so these Reapers come in, they're finally getting a hood. They finally were able to pick apart this Roach army, and that's 7 Reapers going to cross. They're focusing down that Queen. They almost get it, and I don't know if he has enough units left. I don't know if Bly could hold this at this point. He's lost almost all his Roaches. There's no more left. There is a couple more coming out right now, but these Reapers are going to get into this mineral line, and they're going to start picking apart these drones, and I don't think Bly is going to be able to hold this any longer. This mass Reapers are just so powerful right now. And I want him to survive this as much as I hate Zerg and I hate Terran for this. I want him to survive. It's just, but he pushes it back. He defends it. Just the last second he defends it and got more Reapers coming up the ramp.
Remarkably, even though Kelazhur has been unable to achieve a lot of economic damage, he's now taking a 3rd CC. Everything's going great for him. Bly is able to also take that 3rd hatch. It's a really cool situation where you almost have 2 games. You almost have a game within a game. You have a game of Reaper versus Roach, and then the rest of the game is the macro. And by the way, Reapers can snipe bases, so it's going to be canceled, forced back. I can't remember how many, but I remember figuring out how many KD8 charges you needed to... Like, if right when it came up with 1 or 2 Reapers, you could kill the hatch if you did it correctly. If they were right there.
So we got so many Reapers. It reminds me of that one Heart of the Swarm map where you just float around the... Well, not was the hardest one with Wings of Liberty, when you're fight with Tosh, and he has you go collect all the Reapers, just jumping down all the cliffs fighting against the Zerg. It's like the replay.
Not sure, but yeah, no, definitely, it's a dicey situation. KD8 charges also cleaning up creep. I love that decision by Kelazhur. Normally you're like, the scan's not worth it. But he's like, no, the scan's definitely worth it. Cleans up all the creep. He's going to be able to allow him to push up that ramp just a little bit easier. And we see a ninja base for Bly in the top right-hand corner, but still he's holding on. And he's doing a great job. But I feel like, generally, like I was saying before, the Lings are so key because they shut down the Reapers, allowing the Roaches to tank and do the damage. But that's not quite happening for Bly. He's able to defend, and I mean, really at this point, just scary for Kelazhur of the counterattack, but with not losing any Reapers, and them not being reset, as I mentioned, if he moves out, simply Kelazhur moves in, and slaughters the mineral line.
Yeah, and it's kind of an interesting note at this point. The Kelazhur's natural base is kind of mining out. He's kind of losing a lot of money. He spent a lot on these Reapers, and there comes all the grenade charges. Boom, just takes out almost half that line. And the Reapers are kind of dwindling down, but it focuses down the Queen. Here comes more Roaches. Speed should be on the way for Roaches, but they're not just there yet.
Oh, Roaches have to be very careful not to pursue too far, and I love that he has creep down there. Extra vision, and also, of course, with Roaches, maybe he can get a little bit quicker of maneuvering down in the low ground if he decides to split up his forces. But finally, plus 1-1 is almost done. Roach speed is there, and he's given himself an opportunity to counterattack, but still, Kelazhur has been playing phenomenal micro from both players. And Kelazhur is starting to actually even want to try to clean up creep. I love that. And it's, as I was mentioning before, it's funny because even though they've gone back and forth, it's not to the difference between each players. There's not a huge disparity. It's actually pretty doggone even. And you just have a game within a game of Roach v Reaper.
Yeah, the speed is about to finish for the Roaches, and once that happens, then Bly is going to be able to control these Reapers a lot more. We do see the 4th place from Bly get up, drones get on it. I don't know if Kelazhur knows that 4th base is up, but Roaches are finished, speed is finished, and then they're going to clean it all up.
Nice engagement, beautiful. Finally, when Roach speed is done, the Roaches are given enough time and given enough speed to catch up to those Reapers and shut them down. But now you see the dicey situation where if you don't reset them, then there's a counterattack. And they spot the drones moving. They didn't spot the drones moving. So Kelazhur thinks, cool, I'm going to be able to snipe that base, and it's not canceled. It's just taken out, but there the Reapers find the extra base. Finally, they know what's going on. But Bly's just enough to push it back. But there's just so many cliffs, as you mentioned, Draven. They're going to be able to fall back down, and Kelazhur is not giving Bly any time to be able to push out. But finally, as I said, Bly is a very formidable force to push across the map to do damage. But Kelazhur, he's got his counterattack tool, the harassment of the Reapers, and then he's got a main army with even the backbone of the siege tank to fall back onto. I don't know how Bly takes this right here. Kelazhur is so strong. It's 1-1, guys, and the winner of this game moves on to the finals of the Filthy Weekly Chapter 4.
So the army is coming in from Bly. He's just going to push up. I think he's going to try to focus down that 3rd base. He definitely needs to start getting ahead in this match because he's not. There's a lot of SUVs on this base. He's going to focus down all of it. It's going to kill almost all the SUVs, but the bio army comes up behind and starts melting this army. I mean, I don't know if he's going to do much. Bly is just, his army is getting destroyed by this 1-1 upgrade, and a tank comes in as well and just shreds that army.
Bly did not have enough economy to be able to really produce banelings to accompany them because Roach Ravager works great, can actually do a decent amount of AoE. But at the 10-minute mark, when your opponent has +1/1, Kelazhur is getting that when they have stim, when they have combat shields, you need some banelings to accompany the main Roach Ravager force to add in that AoE to stop them. And Bly's economy is just not there right now. He's got some Roaches, he's got some creep spread coming out, and he's not going to give up. But I think Kelazhur, with phenomenal multitasking and control of his Reapers and army, is eventually going to be able to simply overwhelm Bly. This is our last fight, Draven, and I think this is going to be it.
Yeah, so Kelazhar's coming in with a 1-1 upgrade, of course, and so the Roaches, the Ravagers, all get destroyed. Those tanks melt the entire army, and I think this is going to be game. Even though Bly is on 4 bases, I don't see how he's going to be able to defend this. He doesn't have enough minerals, doesn't have enough army, and those tanks are just going to keep him back. More medevacs are here in the fight, and I think that's it. I think Kelazhur is going to go to the finals, taking game number 3 in this best-of-3 series, and GG's probably going to get called here in a second from Bly. What a great plays from both players.
Well done by Kelazhur.
Yeah, great plays by for both players. This Reaper opening so strong from Terran. I've just been saying it since day one, but it's incredible. Incredible game so far.
GG.
There it
Apparently
is.
chalking it up to server control right there from Kelazhur, but I'd like to say not only did Kelazhur multitask well, but his decision making. He didn't just throw down extra racks at home and throw down a CC. He was getting concussive shells. He was getting +1/1 and then up to 2/2. He had good enough multitasking, good enough problem solving, or pardon me, not problem solving, but good enough multitasking and strategy, and he'd been in that situation enough before, it was just out of habit. He could focus completely on Reapers, go back home, get the upgrades. Focus on Reapers, go back home, get concussive shells, and everything just culminated perfectly together. Kelazhur did a remarkable job. Bly was close, but GG well played. Kelazhur 2-1 moves on to the grand finals of the Filthy NA Cup Weekly 4 Global Event.